This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
One story, Fitz, that has gripped us over the past week or so has been the murder, which we can confirm, of two of the young boys, Jesse Baird and also Luke Davies. A man has been arrested in this case, but the bodies are yet to be found. So we search for questions, and together as a community we do everything we can to try and help, but also to find the answers we go to the top. So we welcome to the show Police Commissioner Karen Webb. Welcome to the show, Karen. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
Commissioner, this has obviously rattled everybody, and yesterday we heard that dams had been searched. We were down at the New South Wales Southern Tablelands. Can you give us an update on where the search is at for the two young men?
Yes. Unfortunately, we didn't find the bodies in those dams, so we're still appealing for information for anyone who saw the white Toyota Hiace van on and around the M5, particularly in and around Sydney between Monday and Thursday last week.
Yep. And
its registration number is CW82PM. So any lead, any piece of information is welcome and not too small, because we're piecing together a very complex investigation. And people can call Crime Stoppers anonymously and report anything that they may have seen that may help us find them. And our attention now is to find Luke and Jesse and give the family some solace and comfort that we're doing every single thing we can to find them. I know that families have come into Sydney from interstate, and they're anxiously waiting to hear an update.
Commissioner, obviously we need answers, and we turn our attention to Beau Lamar Condon, who was a member of the force. Is he helping you with your investigation, Commissioner?
Well, it is a matter before the court, so we need to be sort of careful about what we say, but I'll just say that no person is assisting us to show us where the bodies are or indicate where the bodies are. So it is making it a more complex and difficult investigation, and detectives are working around the clock on all leads. And there are many, and it's over a week now, so we're still, asking for public help if they have anything that they can add to the investigation.
He has made partial admissions to this, though, hasn't he, to people that he knew?
To witnesses, which is why he's been charged with murder based on the evidence we've got so far and witness accounts, etc. So, as I said, it's before the court, but certainly the investigation is a long way from over, and we've really still got a long way to understand what has gone on over the 4 days.
I think the hardest part too, Commissioner, is, someone with some experience in the force, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he also had family that had served in the force for a long period of time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I understand that's the case. I don't know the family members directly, but and he'd been with us, I understand, since about 2018.
Right, yeah.
But we'll be going right through, obviously, the circumstances in the current case, but obviously through his background and anything that might go to the motive and cause.
So, I mean,
the two young lives.
It must be extremely frustrating, Commissioner, when you have the man who has been charged with murder, and then you've got these families screaming for help, wanting to know where the bodies are. You have the guilty man, yet he won't tell you where they are. How does that conversation, how does that interrogation with him go?
Yeah, well, he's not guilty yet until he goes to court, but certainly he's been charged and in custody. But the families, as I said, have flown in from interstate. I've spoken to both families. They want answers. They want their loved ones back. They want to understand what happened, and we want to help them have those answers.
Is it disappointing for you as well, Commissioner? I know the Mardi Gras is on, and they have made a decision overnight, the board of the Mardi Gras, that the New South Wales Police have been officially uninvited from marching. I know that you are very strong, that there are some amazing police officers in the force that are a part of the gay community that would be very, very disappointed that they wouldn't be a part of the parade this weekend.
As am I, and I was looking forward to participating in marching with my troops again for another year. I accept the decision of the board, but I am disappointed. We've been participating in parade continuously for the last 20 years, so it is disappointing.
Yeah, it's not fair.
This decision. Yeah.
It's not fair at all. That is frustrating. I mean, you're going to have people aren't robots, and communities aren't robots. And when something goes wrong like this, obviously there's a serious situation, but it doesn't reflect the force. So I don't know if you can lodge a late application for a rethink on this one, Commissioner, but it's extremely disappointing.
I will be talking with members of the community today, and maybe even the board if I get the opportunity, because the actions of one person doesn't define the organisation.
Of course not.
And it's not representative of the organisation that I lead.
Commissioner, what is it within the inner sanctum of the force? What is it, when a member of the force is hurt or harmed, we know as a community how much that means to you guys. But when somebody within the force uses their own means and uses a weapon or something to do a crime, how is that seen from the force? Is that is it heightened? Is it magnified? Is it something that you guys are obviously really disappointed with? But what is it with your everyday police officers? How would they be feeling?
Oh, like me, in shock and deeply concerned that someone that was one of our own could behave this way. So I've called for an internal review to make sure our systems are robust. I mean, I hope that in my lifetime that this is the only event of this nature that I see, and we'll certainly make sure that we prevent things like this from occurring in the future. But we've got a long way to go to, one, look at our systems and policies, but also in this particular investigation, and wait for the court matter to play out and the coroner's matter to play out.
So, Karen, just before we go, is it clear that you are searching this dam, but are you pretty sure now that the body has been moved, so it could be somewhere else?
That's what we understand. We've had divers in that dam, and we haven't located them, so that's why we've extended our search and continuing our search, and we will continue and we won't give up until we find Jessie and Luke.
Commissioner, just quickly, just to help paint the picture for those that aren't completely across the story, the accused had known Jessie or the two guys for around a year prior to this happening, is that correct?
I don't have the timeline specifically, but I understand that there's been a relationship with the accused and Jessie for some time. I understand it might have been an on and off relationship, but I'm not sure how the accused come to know Luke in that situation.
Right.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your time. We know how busy and under pressure you are, Commissioner, so thank you very much for coming on the show and updating us.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Karen.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.